Back in July of 2019, I released a video simply titled "Minecraft Combat is Changed Forever Again," which detailed a major overhaul to Minecraft's combat system that's currently in the works, and Minecraft's combat really is changing forever. While that's not the title for today's video, I think to describe everything that's happened since July, you would have to add another "again" to that title. For the past 5 months, Mojang has been hard at work tweaking, correcting, and updating data so that they can improve the core combat mechanics that are currently in Minecraft. They really want to get it right this time. A delayed update is eventually good, but a bad update is always bad. In this video, we're going to be discussing the changes that have happened to the Minecraft Combat Beta since July, primarily focusing on the most recent snapshot that we've been given, aka Java Edition Combat Test 5. Is Mojang on the right track? Have the problems that I mentioned in my initial video been addressed? Today, we're going to talk about all of that. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. This video is sponsored by MC Pro Hosting. Before we get too far into this video, if you're completely unfamiliar with the new combat beta for Minecraft Java Edition, I would highly recommend that you watch our original video from July of 2019, which covers the core of the update more so than this video is going to do. I'll have that video linked on the top right of the screen, but in a nutshell, Minecraft combat has changed almost completely again. There's the original combat system, which lasted until release 1.9. Then there's the combat update, which has been the norm since release 1.9. And now we're checking out the new combat update. If you're familiar with Minecraft combat as it stood before, you'll see a lot of visual differences between both methods of combat. And while I think our original video is still worth a watch, it's not necessary to watch it to understand the conversation at hand. It just gives a bit more context. With that out of the way, we are 5 combat snapshots into this thing. These are based off of the 1.14 and 1.15 releases of the game and are not scheduled to come out as a major update on their own. The combat changes will come out when it's ready, as stated by Jeb himself. So that's a good start. So starting off, weapon reach. While this mechanic has been a thing since the first combat snapshot, let's quickly recap on it, since it is really important for later. To state simply, weapons now have varying distances with which their attacks can deal damage, and on paper, it's kinda cool. Prior to the combat beta, weapons in Minecraft always had the exact same reach. Swords, tridents, hoes, shovels, they would all hit their target from the exact same distance. Now, with certain items, you can actually be further away and still land a hit. Tridents and hoes have a listed reach of 3.5, swords have 3, while axes, shovels, and pickaxes do not have a listed reach, which I'm guessing means they hit from the smallest possible distance, presumably around 2.5 blocks or so. The fact that it's not listed seems a bit weird to me, and in my opinion, every single weapon that deals more damage than a fist hit should have its attack range and damage labeled within its tooltip. During our testing, we actually found that everything had an added reach of 1.25 blocks on top of what the tooltip said, meaning that if it said 3.5, its actual reach was 4.75 blocks, and 3 became 4.25, and so on and so forth. I'm not really sure why. All in all, the reach mechanics are pretty easy to understand. Hoes may not deal a whole lot of damage, but if you utilize them right, you can obviously escape getting hit if you can keep your distance from someone else, especially with its added speed. And honestly, I would consider using a hoe for that purpose if it wasn't for one of the biggest, newest, and weirdest changes to the new combat beta, the updated knockback mechanics. Snowballs are now the most powerful weapon in Minecraft. Yeah, I'm not joking. Knockback within the new combat snapshots is absolutely crazy. One of this combat test's biggest priorities does seem to be focused on knockback. And no, not the enchantment. An absolutely insane knockback has been added to just about every single weapon in Minecraft, thanks to the reduced attack time between hits. With this most recent snapshot, height advantage is debatably a thing of the past. Quite literally, being lower is better. When researching for this video, myself and Michaelmcchill were playing on a world where we were literally attacking each other over and over and over using the same tools. Using just our basic melee weapons and often our fists, we were able to juggle the other person in the air for multiple attacks, often getting them upwards of 3 or more blocks into the air with only a single hit or 2. Knockback is real, and if you thought it stopped there, well, it doesn't. Snowballs gained a huge buff as well. Like, there's no other way to describe it. Snowballs used to be kind of annoying, and that was it. Now, they're a strategic weapon that can actually deal a massive amount of height damage if they're utilized correctly. Remember how we said that we could hold on to a person in the air for multiple hits with just our fists? Snowballs take that and flip it entirely on its head. Quite literally, we were able to carry combatants, mobs, and each other for upwards of tens to hundreds of blocks if our aim was precise and good enough. What that meant was that we could push each other off of cliffs during heated battles and kill the other person with fall damage, and there was almost nothing that they could do about it. Even using a shield does not mitigate the knockback of a snowball. Because we wanted to see how insane that we could get this effect to occur, we even created a tube, placing each other on opposite ends and just threw snowballs at each other. Doing this, we were able to get upwards of 60 blocks off the ground by just hitting each other with snowballs. But with better aim and better timing, we could have easily gone a lot higher. After realizing this, we even figured out that you could cancel a person's fall damage if you were lucky enough to hit them during their free fall, and that's from any height. Well, this is the funniest thing that's probably ever been added to Minecraft. I think that this has the potential to actually split the PvP community again. The knockback in these scenarios can be extremely intense at times on all weapons. Snowballs especially need to be changed up a bit. Not only are they extremely overpowered right now, but they also now stack up to 64, further adding to how overpowered they are. Either slow down the amount of them that you can throw so that you can't permastun someone, or make the overall knockback all around in game less intense. If shields actually blocked snowballs, I might be entirely forgiving on this issue. While being juggled around, me and Michael kind of realized that the axe now kind of sucks as a weapon. Because of its slow attack rate and reach, you swing less, so therefore there's a lower chance that you're going to be aiming at the person when you do a given swing. I would say its reach should potentially be extended, but this opinion might change with time. Axes did gain an enchantment, however, called chopping. It adds half a heart of damage and half a second of shield stunning per level with a maximum level of up to 3. So it may be more beneficial to go out with an axe that has this enchantment. I'd also love to see the tree capitator functionality added to this enchantment, because why not? Plus, by the time you're enchanting your weaponry anyways, you're probably not needing trees all that much, so it would be kind of fun. So, my opinions. The problem that I mentioned at the end of my original combat beta video pertaining to combat devolving into a crouch jumping spam fest because you could still deal damage while crouch shielding has largely been fixed. Now, when you attack with your shield up, it disables your own shield for a short period of time. Crouching with the shield also feels largely intuitive in a quick heated battle. Under video settings, there's an automatically disable disabled setting called Shield Indicator, and when it's enabled, it makes things much easier to understand, especially when it's on the hotbar. You know when your shield is disabled, you know when it's properly activated, there's limited confusion, and it's very intuitive when the indicator is on. This indicator should be automatically enabled, Mojang. It's extremely useful. I will say, however, it does feel that in the heat of battles, using critical attacks may not be worth it, unless you're on approach for your first hit, or if they are shielding, in which case you'll need to use an axe to disable their shield, or a crit from behind, as crits from the front won't do anything with a normal weapon. Like I said, there's a lot when it comes to this update. There is a ton of strategy now, and in certain situations, it does make combat way more interesting than it has ever been before. This update is a lot like trying to describe a smell. You just gotta smell it to know for yourself if you enjoy the aroma or not. But I'll tell you one thing, this next item stinks. While I won't rant about this for too long, my opinions on this next item are pretty negative, and I think it's probably the biggest problem with the snapshot as a whole. Hunger has been enormously rebalanced, which results in your health regenerating much more slowly. The slow health regeneration on its own is not my issue though. It's that every full heart gained equals a full pork chop lost on your hunger bar, which to me seems extremely intense. I feel like you should probably get a full heart back per single hunger point, or per half of a pork chop on the hunger bar. Remember that each pork chop actually equals 2 hunger points. Also, potions just got an enormous buff thanks to hunger being rebalanced. Remember how if you had full hunger and a high saturation count, you could regenerate maybe half of your hearts really quickly before hunger really began to set in? That's gone now. On top of that, eating food is a bit slower than before, requiring 2 full seconds versus the about 1.6 seconds from before. A possible counterbalance to this problem is that your hearts restore for much longer than they used to. Before, you stopped regenerating health when your hunger meter fell to 18 out of 20 points. Now, it stops when it goes down to 6 out of 20 points. I get why this change was implemented. Jeb didn't want regeneration effects to outpace the potential for taking damage, but I think all that it's really going to mount to is that regeneration and instant health potions are stupidly overpowered now. I'm not 100% sure, but I think my feelings on the hunger change are primarily negative. Only time will tell. And that is it for now. While it's all certainly a lot to take in, I do genuinely think most of these changes are making the right steps towards making a better combat experience. In the time that Michaelmcchill and myself tested the combat snapshots out, we found ourselves having a lot of fun with it. We found plenty of areas for new strategy, and I think if you sit down and try it out for yourself, you might have some fun with it too. Again, this whole update is like trying to describe a smell. Sure, I can explain it in a video, but it's best for you to just experience it for yourself. If you want to try this combat snapshot out with a friend to test it out and see if you enjoy it, you might want to consider looking into our sponsor for this video, MC Pro Hosting. If you guys are wanting to get a Minecraft server for your very own, then feel free to use the link in the description down below to get 25% off of your first month.
I love playing Minecraft, but I hate playing by myself. Well, have we got the perfect thing for you? Who said that? Huh? Hello! Who are you? Did you know that you could be playing on your very own Minecraft server with the new villager plan from MC Pro Hosting? What? I'm glad you asked. The villager plan can handle up to 35 players at once and includes 2 whole gigabytes of RAM. Gigabyte? Yes! Gigabytes. The new villager plan from MC Pro Hosting. Get it now! Or get the little villager plan, available for iOS, Android, and Windows 10 edition. Woo! Yeah! What have you done?
But what do you think? Do you like this new combat beta, or do you not? What are your thoughts on the matter? Do you think that these changes are exciting? Let me know in the comment section down below. But other than that, that just about does it for me for now. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like on it, because it would really help out myself and Michaelmcchill, who co-wrote and edited this video, the channel, and the video quite a lot. But anyways guys, I hope you all enjoyed. My name is AntVenom, and I bid you all farewell. Thanks so much for watching.